Tir Na Nog is Irish Gaelic for the land of ever young or land of eternal youth. This is an Irish legend about a place where the plants and trees never die and people stay young. This game is about the exploits of the great hero Cúchulainn, following his departure from the world of the living and his entry into Tir Na Nog. His subsequent attempts to locate and reunite the fragments of the Seal of Calum form the basis of a vast interactive adventure, set in the magical landscapes of Celtic mythology, peopled by the sídhe, the word many of the people in Ireland use to describe the fairy folk, or mythological creatures in their world. Cúchulainn, the hero, walks with a jaunty swagger, a bit like a Celtic Liam Gallagher. His task is to retrieve some mystical items and avoid having them stolen off him. You see, this land was once mighty, now fallen on hard times, and these monkey-like creatures are the main protagonist in the adventure. They had bound the great enemy by creating the Seal of Calum, and thus had become a great civilization. But the great enemy had managed to steal the seal by sending a thief. In their rage, the sídhe killed the thief, but the seal was shattered into 4 pieces, and the great enemy freed to wreak havoc on the earth again. So fell the sídhe into subhuman beasts. When you begin the game, it is a new, darker age, and your task is to reunite the 4 pieces of the seal. Tir Na Nog is definitely quite an adventure, and you are required to explore, seek useful objects such as weapons, and interact with other characters who inhabit the land. Text at the bottom of the screen will play a part in telling you where you are and what objects you are carrying, although occasionally there are situations where text will appear, such as the Oracle. There are puzzles to solve, and there are many arcade situations where quick reactions are needed to stay alive. The screen is split roughly into 2 sections, a top playing area where the land is seen, and a lower information area which tells you where you are, what you are carrying or using, and most importantly, a compass. Because let's face it, you're going to need to source a map from somewhere before tackling this vast world, and a compass comes in very handy when accompanied by some sort of navigational reference piece. The graphics in this game were really good for its day. All I wanted to do was walk around the village and see the sights. It was that beautiful. It was like going on holiday to a picturesque village in Ireland. You could see all the quaint houses, visit the shops, look at the scenery in the distance, be attacked by monkeys and talk to stones and hedges with eyes and faces. Alright, maybe you can't do all of that in Ireland, but it still had that feel about it. The puzzles were all cryptic, and I didn't understand any of them. Something about a Seal of Calum and an altar, but talking hedges gave more garbled clues to how to solve problems. It didn't help me though. Apparently the monkeys were a beautiful race of people, turned into monkeys by a curse. Cúchulainn himself was quite cool, and even death didn't stop him, what with him being already dead. He could even rotate his view to see what was happening on the other side of the road. This was a neat trick, although it did become quite confusing, often leading you to not be able to find something, because you hadn't switched views at the right time. In all, I greatly enjoyed Tir Na Nog. There was also a prequel release for the ZX Spectrum and Amstrad CPC, Dun Darach, which apparently upped the ante, with foxy lady villagers and a casino, but it didn't recreate the wonder that the original game generated on its launch. Unfortunately, this never saw the light of day for the Commodore 64. This game will keep an experienced arcade adventurer tantalised for many hours. Even when solved, it should offer more because it can be completed in many ways. A delightful delve into mythology, and provides plenty of possibilities for mapping enthusiasts. The animation of Cúchulainn is of course the most immediately noticeable feature at a total of 64 frames of animation, but the rest of the game is equally impressive. With so many objects and places to explore, discovering everything will take long enough. But then when you have to figure out what to do with them as well, things really get tough. In fact, the only downside was the lack of joystick option. Anyway, if you're interested in giving this game a whirl, then definitely check out the instructions manual beforehand, which includes how to get to grips with the controls and has more in-depth information regarding the whole backstory of the game. And if you're going to play the game and get really stuck, then I'll also link through some hints I found online, including a mini walkthrough for some of the puzzles and items you can find within this adventure. Thanks for watching guys. I know this was a video that may not appeal to everybody, but still, give it a try. And don't forget to hit the like button to support the channel. Then let me know your thoughts about the game in the comment section. If you're enjoying the nostalgia for these classic Commodore titles, then please consider subscribing to the channel and following me on this epic journey. There's plenty more games on the various playlists and another coming up next. Hopefully, I'll see you there. Until then, bye for now.